All right, excellent. Daniel Wang, CEO of MSPBots, is joining me. Thanks for joining me, Daniel.
Hey, thanks for having me, and it's excited to be here.
Awesome, and I really appreciate you making the time, knowing that we both were just out in Las Vegas at the Big Connect event, and like many, I think you said you came back under the weather. So I appreciate you being a trooper and mustering up the energy to have this chat.
Awesome.
Yeah. So let's get into your background because it's fascinating, right? I mean, you oftentimes on this podcast we hear, we started, you heard an entrepreneur or an executive talk about, I started down this path and I went to this path and then ended down here. You actually started in China in the 70s, and I think going down the path of becoming a dentist. Is that right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was born in the 1970s in China, which is if anybody not familiar with that time, that's the Cultural Revolution time. Which, if anybody who's not familiar with the Cultural Revolution, just imagine North Korea today is identical. Iron Curtain, propaganda, everybody's poor, right? And everybody have this mission to destroy the United States. That's kind of like a similar identical situation like North Korea today. That's 1970s China. So my parents, luckily they China opened in the 1980s. The people can go to the college to get education. It's the economy. The market is open. So I was able to go to the universities. My parents always like, oh, be a doctor. Typical Asian parents, right? So say, oh, go train to be a dentist. That's awesome. I'm like 17. I never even traveled more than 60 miles before I get to the 17 years old. That's how big my world was,
Wow.
right? So like, okay, my parents says I should go to the dental school. Yes, I am. So I was able to get the actually pretty decent dental school, the top 4 dental school in China.
Wow.
But I absolutely hated. I was a bad dental school student, barely. I was a very good high school kid, always straight A's. But when I got to the college as a university, I always got like a C or I didn't get a D, but a B or C. It was frustrating. But I learned the computer from there. First time saw my computer, 1991, Apple II. Fall in love. That started my computer journey. So
Wow.
yeah,
So it was just you just didn't have the desire. They often say, right? I mean, you find your passion, or you find find something you're passionate about, and you'll never work a day in your life. But I guess the dental path was just not you. I guess apparently, right?
yeah. I got 3 kids and also hundreds employees. Right? It's like a passion is kind of like overused, but I think you cannot overstate the importance. At least for my life, it's I was getting, and at that time in China, 1991, right? I stayed in the dental school for 5 years. You don't have an option, unlike here or today, China. If you want to switch major, you can switch it. If I want to go switch major, I have to go back to high school, right? Quit the college, go back to high school, apply again, which is
Wow.
really bizarre. So I had no choice to finish the 5-year dental school. But it's truly the follow the passion, my whole journey, right? Become a computer nerd, right? Learning all the computer by myself in a dental school, learn the business, started multiple businesses. I learned to become an angel investor, right? Come to the US, barely speak English. Everything is like a self-driven, but
Yeah.
it's always my whole life. I think I'm working minimum 80 hours a week, most of the year. Even though so many different businesses. But exactly your point, I never feel like, oh man, this is too much work. I just cannot wait. Well, someday I wish I'm not working. But overall, I 100% agree. I think even my kids, right? Hey, follow your passion. I cannot emphasize how important it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So you started 3 businesses, I guess. Well, I guess you kind of retired at one point, but you started 3 businesses. Where did you get the entrepreneurship bug?
I don't know, right? I like I said, I think with this one we debate a lot. You our peer groups. I also mentor the startups, right? Is entrepreneur was born or was you can kind of like cultivate, nurturing. I started to believe in what Elon Musk said, right? Oh, what do you need to do to encourage the entrepreneurship? Like Vince Lombardi says, if you need to encourage somebody to do that, they probably should not start the you should not be encourage somebody that inner drive. I think some of the people are falling into the entrepreneurship because they have no choice, but many of the successful ones, they just have this burning desire internally, want to do something. I'm kind of like the similar. Even when I was in the college, I'm always trying to figure out something. After the college, I start working, getting the business, but pretty quickly I'm in the driver's seat. Even I have a boss, but my boss probably more follow my leads. They give some direction, and business after business after business, even came here 2001, right? And like barely speak English, doesn't know anybody other than my wife, and nobody wanted to hire me because they cannot even communicate with me. So, right?
Mm.
What are you gonna do? I started looking for the place, find the people who actually a boss who can speak Chinese. But pretty quickly, I gave him the suggestions. You should run your retail store this way, that way. He doesn't want to listen. I go, if you don't want to listen to my suggestion, I'm gonna go do it by myself, right? So I more and more I believe, we actually have a funny word we call it entrepreneur. A lot of people want to become the entrepreneur because like, oh, I want to be the boss because I can control. I have a freedom. Yeah, you're free to work 80 hours a week and you're free to lose money and be miserable, have lost sleep, right?
Yeah.
It's not like I think I remember Elon Musk at that interview. It's like, hey, what do you want to do? What we should do to encourage more people to become you? It's like, I don't know if I want people to become me. It was really, I don't wish somebody to be me. It was miserable, right? So, but on the other hand, right, there's a reward waiting if you tolerate all. It truly is it didn't kill you, make you stronger, but sometimes it's very, very tough. So I think it's answer your question. I believe most of them is some people just can, it's built in, right? You have to.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like that was a probably a pivotal moment for you when you're talking to your boss and you say, you might want to do it this way. He's not listening to you. And you like said, forget it. I'm going to do it myself, and
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's how a lot of entrepreneurs are born, which is good stuff. So you've been in and around business. You've been scaling businesses. I know you don't sleep all that much, or at minimum, you're a night owl, from what I understand. But let's get into the idea behind MSPBots. You've done exceptionally well. We're gonna get into gone down this path of raising, from venture capital. But what was the genesis behind MSPBots, and what were you looking to accomplish with it?
Yeah. I as I mentioned, I came here barely speak English, learned English actually from Watch the Friends so many times, right? I still remember most of the word. And start a retail store, grown down a retail store, eventually to 8 locations, converting to a franchise. So I stumbled upon the MSP as one of the retail store kind. Customer is asking, hey, do you have some kind of agreement? I never heard about agreement, right? It's a TNM as a retail store. You bring the computer in, I fix it, I charge you. That's our agreement. So I started searching what is IT agreement. I found Robin Robbins. So then I went to one of her free session, right? She's very good with marketing. And whoa, this is so cool. This thing called MSP is pretty fun. I joined the Robin 2000, that was like 2009, right? I actually reversed it. I sold the MSP first, and then I need to figure out how to deliver it situation. using her marketing and all the stuff, build the business. And my peer group was helped tremendously. I recommend every single one who's running MSP. I almost like why you are not in a peer group? There's so many, right? Just one. It helped me tremendously. I was able to grow the MSP, my MSP, in that 7 years. I grown from 0 to about 1.7 million AR, right? So yeah, we're growing it fast and we're making money and I have fun. But then by the end, I started getting really frustrated. My number one challenge is always people not following the process. Because I was in the Robin Robbins, Taylor Business Group, True Method, Entrepreneur Organization, I was in the multiple peer groups. So I can easily get the process, right? I can send the email, hey, anybody want to share your backup process, kind of intake process, right? Project management process. Then, 24 hours, I can get like a 3-4 PDF Word document, have detailed step by step. And just, my peer group even like, hey, can I borrow your service manager for an hour to go through what exactly this might means? Sure, no problem. So getting the process never being a challenge. Well, it's not easy, right? Polish it, tweak it to where you need to be. It's never been the biggest challenge for me. But my biggest challenge is really get people follow the process, right? Every day, every week, every month. Almost if I look at every single client I lost, or at least 90% of the client I lost, is because some of the employee didn't follow the process. And I didn't know, right? I didn't know. By the time they say, oh, give me your admin password, give me my admin password, because then you need to hand over to the next MSP, it's already too late. Right. So I just I remember every week or month, because we grow fast, we hire people, we cannot train them fast enough. And even we get good people, we cannot pay them enough. They say, oh, somebody pay me more. I'm 30% more. I'm out of here. A lawyer wants to hire me. IBM wants, Cisco want to hire me. I'm like, we're become a training camp, right?
Yeah.
Because training the good people, then they find the better job. And I cannot raise my price to pay what they do, because I have like 200 MSPs in Chicago competing with me. I cannot raise the price whatever I want. So the MSP I'm like, oh my God, this is so many process. You get a reactive, proactive projects, right? You got level 1, level 2, level 3. Then you get the different industry. This is a CPA, that's a lawyer. This is a dentist, that's a manufacturer. It's a huge, Oxford there, right? You need to be there, coordinate everything. It's a super complicated business. I'm like, oh my God, this is complicated. And every day I feel like it's a battle. So eventually I don't know if I want to do this business anymore, right? I used to do the internet business, the software business back in China. I said, I miss that one, right? Now, by the 2016, I was in US for 15 years already. I got kids. My English is no longer a problem. My wife making pretty decent money. All my business, 3-4 businesses, all making money. I'm like, hey, I want to do something more fun, but I don't know what to do. But I want to do the service, right? It's just like a people business.
Yeah.
So I went to look and reading. That's what I stumbled upon. I always believe, since the Matrix time, 1999, I'm like, duh, of course the computer gonna take over the world. That's probably like 200-300 years later, not my problem. But in 2016, when I finally have some time, I hired a CEO 2015, right? Took him 1 year to coaching him, mentoring him, make sure he can handle stuff, right? Hand it over. I have some time. I start reading. I start realize that's where the AlphaGo, ImageNet, finally like, whoa, this AI is not 300 years. It's actually to 20, 30 years in my lifetime. That AGI or the artificial general intelligence or artificial super intelligence could happen, then this is going to be an epic journey with AI. So I came to that conclusion and saying, you know what, I'm done. I want to be I want to be catch this, soon I call it AI tsunami. It's gonna change every single area of the world, right? In the human civilization, I want to be part of it, but I don't know what to start, right? I said I need to build the software, the website. I don't know what to do. I took a sabbatical. I thought I'm gonna be to spend 2 3 months. Ends up 3 years, right? There I started like doing like angel investing, then play with the longevity, the robotic arm, then the fund of the crypto. Made a lot of money, lose a lot of money, then made a lot of money. It's freaking insane with the crypto world. But I ends up invested about like a 20, 30, actually today is 30, 40. Back then it's 20, 30, right? I continue investing, do the angel investing, mainly focus on the big data, AI, right? Because that's something I'm got really interested automation. So I started get to by the end of the, what do you call it? By the end of 2018, the crypto crashed. I lost a lot of money, and it's gonna really got nothing better to do. I was super bored. Last 3 years, it was fine. I binge watched the Game of Thrones 3 times, 8 week RV trip with the kids, 3 kids. Europe trip, but eventually I'm not the person you ask the entrepreneurship, right? I'm like, it's all cool, but I wanted to build something. I wanted to solve some tough problems.
Yeah.
So I started looking for where I should start, what I can use to what I learned from all those startups, right? Then I started, hey, MSP is such a difficult business, and I have a lot of firsthand experience.
Yeah.
So that's where the 2018, that's where the RPA, robotic process automation, start become hot, right? I actually invested three companies doing the RPA in the different industry. I said, hey, I can do this for the MSPs. So I started with the RPA to like, hey, your time entry is late. Because my number one challenge is people not following the process. I said, hey, I can use the data to figure out who's not following the process and remind them, give them the training in real time, right? That'd be awesome. So I started developing, hire the developers, building the bots to start chasing people. I used to do some like automatic ticket dispatching, utilization, all the KPIs. That's where involved to say I needed the boss to it need to impact the KPI or driven by the KPI. So that's why I started engaging with I needed some kind of dashboard to find the problem first before I can solve the problem. And at that time, the best is the bright gauge, right? And always has the data. I try to reach out to the bright gauge, says, hey, can we get the when that data changed from the green to red, somebody didn't do their job.
Right.
It was awesome until you forgot about this, or you did something, or you didn't do something. But bright gauge was, occupied, too busy, not they don't have an API, they're not interested to develop anything. So I'm forced to say I have to get the data. So that's where we started really building a lot of dashboard to help the MSPs find the data. It's just how many times, right? I look back, how many times I lost a client is because I didn't know somebody was not doing their job, right? If I can find out the problem first, sooner, faster. So that's the dashboard part. Then I start getting people the feedback, right? The other dashboard solutions. There's not enough integration, enough data set, enough flexibility. So we built I can touch my heart that probably the best, not probably, is the best dashboard solution dedicated for MSP. We have the most amount of the integration, the data set, the pre-built widgets, right? And cover pretty much every single area of the business. And then we have the automation, automatically scan the dashboard every 3 minutes. So, because many times you have the dashboard, every software has a dashboard, but you hire a manager to look at the dashboard, click it, find out who's guilty, then message that one, call them, have a meeting, say, Daniel, this is the 5th time this week. You did this again. Can you not do anything? Here's how it works, right? We all fully automate those ones.
Yeah. Right? So you mentioned that whether it's through employee negligence, lack of documentation, or just kind of cutting corners. I mean, all of those lead to inefficiency. Obviously, it's frustrating. There's revenue loss associated with every inefficiency that you create. So maybe give me maybe one or two examples or use cases where the automation that you guys built in. You can see it from a dashboard and kind of obviously helping make that process better. But maybe one or two examples of really where you can see that change in efficiency, the improvement in efficiency inside of an MSP.
Yeah. So I think these years, right, you worked with a lot of MSPs. Every MSP, especially in the Robbins group, right, and many of the peer groups, everybody, the owner, especially Robbins group, is a marketing group, right? You join the marketing group because you want to grow the business.
Yeah.
But how many business owner you talk to, like, oh, how long you been in the business? 20 years. How many employees? 7. Right? Why after 20 years you only have 7 employees? You don't have 70 employees or 700 employees.
Yeah.
You solve the same problems every single day, all the time. So what are the problems? Employee doesn't have enough utilization. Right? Employee enter the time entry late. You did the job on Monday, they started putting the stuff on Tuesday or on Saturday. How can you even remember what you did on Monday? So timing is late, utilization is not there. The server is offline for too long. The ticket has been stale, right? That ticket, nobody touching it for 5 days, right? How long you think that ticket can stay there, nobody touching it, before a client start calling, where the heck are my tickets, right? So we use dashboard first to show you, right, how many time entries are late, how many people have a better utilization. Then real time, right, we started by you define it, right? Like we can alert people, hey, they show up in the morning, the first thing, right? We say, welcome. But by the time they go to lunch, we say, your utilization is only 20%. You worked for 4 hours, you only gave me this much. So utilization is not there. Oh, you just enter time entry. This is Monday. You said you just entered something last Wednesday. Your time entry is more than 5 minutes. As a matter of fact, in more than 5 days already, right? You didn't touch your time entry into agreement because we're a for-profit company. So we need agreement profitability, right? How can I measure the agreement profitability without you documenting your time entry, right? Without an accurate time entry report, every agreement looks profitable. Right. Other than, when you actually document your time entry, oh shit, right? We charge $2,000, but we paid $1,500 labor, right? How can you make money? Your agreement profitability, you have to be more than, 65%, right? So all those kind of data, we have a real time, we fire the messages based on the data, right, to the teams, to the Slack, right, or email. We say, hey, Daniel, right, you want to go to lunch, but utilization is 20%. Can you fix it before you go, right? Hey, Daniel, you just enter the time entry. It's 5 days late. So your time entry is not accurate. I legitimately have an employee says, oh, I have a photo memory. I never forgot anything. I'm like, you're right, but let me give you that. But here's a problem. You wait for 5 days. What if the client yesterday called in, says, what happened with my ticket? Other people answer the phone. They have no clue what you did because you didn't document. So you're doing your client a disservice, you're doing your colleague disservice, you're doing the dispatcher disservice. They say, oh, you're right. So we have all those information in the team's automatic message. It's the people who actually want to do a good job. They look a message, first day you hire someone who's driven, who wants to do a good job. Like, my time entry late. What I mean? Oh, late because They create this problem, here's the why, and here's how, right? 50-60% of the good employees, they read those 2-3 paragraph message in the teams, they start changing behavior, right? That save about 30-40% of the service manager or business owner's time. And imagine the service manager can do, and also it's 100 times better job. Why? No service manager ever can check every single time entry for 15 different problems for 10, 20 technicians in real time, 24/7.
No.
Right? Physically impossible. And boss is doing it every single day. Right.
Kind of feel like you could do that with how much you work, but no, I get your point. No, it's yeah, there's so many words come to mind. I mean, it's not just it's efficiency, it's productivity, it's profitability. I mean, it's really, I mean, on one hand, it's a shame that you have to build these kind of tools, but on the other hand, it just demonstrates the demand, the need, and how much space there is between, and how much just leakage there is within an organization. Because I imagine once you're up and running, you kind of have this implementation phase. I imagine once you're up and running, and the business owner visually sees kind of the challenges, it's got to be jaw dropping, I think, in a lot of cases.
Yeah, we have many of the client they like this is a game changer, right? But also I don't want to pen it, or it's easy teasy, it's a magic wand. No, the automation is difficult. The culture shift is difficult. We legit have people cancel. They say, oh, our team doesn't want it to be annoying. Our team doesn't want to be micromanaged. Our team doesn't want to have a big brother. I'm like, you should look at this bots as like a Jarvis for the airmen, right? Like a Jarvis calling the terrain, pull up. You're like, screw you, I'm not going to do that, all right? If that's what you want to do, right? So I think this is, but we have a many successful story, right? We can save about 30% of a service manager's time, right? We can save about 80% of dispatcher's time. We have a automatic, algorithm-based ticket dispatching, like Medicus IT, right? They used to have 14 dispatchers, and we did a case study with them, right? They just they cut like 80% of the dispatcher, right? It's a huge saving, and the result is like 100 times better, right? So a lot of this automation, I think everybody understands that automation is the key. But not a whole lot of company actually be able to do it. Actually, I have a slide. There's 5 mistakes, right? I think the people don't have a good process. They just it's a kiosk. Like, let's throw the automation so it's gonna fix everything. No, it's just automation. You throw the automation to the kiosk, it just amplify the kiosk, right? It's nothing, and also they don't have dedicated people. They're not spending the time. They're looking for that easy button. Number one, there's no easy button, right? If there is an easy button, if it is easy for everyone, then it has no value, right? Anything valuable is difficult, right? So that's something we helped a lot of businesses to really make it easier, but they got to invest it. So give them the ceiling, move the ceiling up. Like I said earlier, I talked with so many MSPs. I'm sure you do. They're like, oh, I stuck in the same place. Our revenue grow 10%, drop 10%, grow 5%, drop 2%, right? That kind of slowly, finally, I break 10 user, then I lost 3 clients, I have to go back, right? Why? You are solving the same problem every month, every week, every day. So hopefully that bot can help you take care of that, free up like 1 hour of your time. Then now you can focus on the sales, hiring, culture, value, sales, marketing, new technology. Then you can grow again, right? So that's really where the automation gave the power, especially if the business feel like, oh, I stuck. But unfortunately, the business who's not stuck because they're really using the automation. Business are stuck. They need automation the most. They cannot figure out how to do the automation.
Right. Can't get out of their own way, I guess.
I
Um,
know.
yeah. So this whole world you mentioned, right, is AI, AI automation, RPA. I don't want to lump them all together, but those are kind of the three buzzwords that are thrown around. And that's
Yeah,
what's really moving the needle macroeconomically and just microeconomically inside of MSPs. You know, with it moving so fast, automation, AI in general, like what do you guys need to do to stay out in front and be not just relevant because it's extremely relevant, right? And it's timely and it provides a ton of value. But what do you need to do to stay out in front and really become even more successful? You guys just raised 5 million, which
yeah.
is fantastic. I'm sure that helps with the acceleration. But what's that roadmap look like for you over the next 24 months?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I wasn't actually trying to raise money at all, because if anybody looking in the investment world, right, the 2001 is awesome time. 2021, right, is probably the best time raising the money. Since
Mm-hmm.
then, the market just crashed, right? All the startups, software companies, the valuation is going down. If you are pre revenue, you're doomed, right? You cannot get money. So the 2022 was a pretty bad year for anybody try to think about raising money.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't thinking about raising money, but one of my investor friend is really chasing it. There says, I love your business model. I like the business. I like your drive. Because one key part is you know, the difference is that most people find when they first time saw the OpenAI, the ChatGPT, they're like, whoa, this is amazing. How is that even possible? Right? What we should do about it. When I first using it the 2022, I think December, right? But look at it, it's like I immediately reached out to my CTO, who was my first employee I hired in 2019. I said, hey, this is something we've been talking about for the last couple of years. It's finally here,
Yeah.
right? We cannot wait anymore. Let's start doing the raise money, right? Before that, my investor chased me for eight months. Every month, he texted me, hey, Daniel, you ready to raise? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm probably go break even, weather the winter. Then once the market, changes, when we talk, oh, we just do a safe, right? I get a bunch of clients already ask me to put more money. I don't want to take their money, the valuation, all that kind of stuff. So immediately OpenAI released, I'm like, we're done. Let's start raising money. Initially, we said, oh, maybe do 1 million. Then months later, I'm like, oh, AI is too fast. Let's do 2 million. Then by March, we're working on the paperwork, everything. I was like, screw it. This thing is too fast. Let's do 5 million. True
Wow.
story, right? That's really so. MSPBots built because of AI and did the fundraising because of AI, right? We have 70 integrations so far, and we are gonna next half of the year we're gonna release another 30 integrations to reach
Wow.
the 100 integration, and the next year we're gonna have 200 integrations. Pretty much anybody in the MSP world, right? Of course, like a ConnectWise or Task, Halo, those are key integration. Anything even like the Bamboo HR 36 phone system, if MSP is using it, even like the HubSpot, right? Those are MSP specific ones. We want to collect a large amount of data. The vision for me is think about what is the ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT pulled the 1.8 trillion of the data, learned from the human history, right? Anything it can touch on the internet, YouTube, right? The GitHub, the whatever, all the emails we submitted to, Microsoft, right? They learned from all the human history, the knowledge, and now the ChatGPT is smarter than any human ever existed,
Yeah.
right? I don't know, or they can ask anything, right? It has an answer. Only thing is like, oh, you have 30 years IT. That area, not because ChatGPT is dumb or not capable, is because those data is behind some kind of a paywall, right? A password. You gave them enough data, it will get there, right? I think that's the MSPBots opportunity. This is actually the strategy we got a couple of years ago. So imagine we can train a MSP GPT, right? So have an MSP GPT, have your financial data, CRM data, last 10 years, ConnectWise ticket since day one, all your client information, all your phone recording, everything about your company. Then you can train a GPT, knows your company better than the owner, right? You can ask that GPT anything. Tell me about my least profitable, most annoying clients, right? And that I should fire. Here you go, right? It's kind of yell at you all the time, curse your employees, and consistently not profitable. And I don't know why you even still have this client, right? So all those kind of stuff, there's no barrier, or there's no technology barrier that you cannot build a ABC company GPT, right? Knows the business better than the owner himself, right? Because I cannot remember 7 years ago that afternoon what happened to this client. Guess what? Right? GPT knows.
Right.
So from the technology, standpoint, today's technology, we don't even need to invent the GPT-5 or 6, 7, right? Today's technology is already there, but it's a tons of hard work, right? Pulling all those data in. We're fighting with the 70 integrations every day, make sure we can accurately present the data, right? And we need to focus, how we can make sure the data is accurate. It is a full picture, right? If you're missing certain of the data, all the bad data come in, garbage in, garbage out. It's literally called machine learning. Machines learn from the human. If your operation sucks, right? Your data sucks, your time entry sucks, your agreement is not accurate, good luck. You can throw GPT-15. It's still not going to make any, right? It's better, but it's not going to make a magic change, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the long run. Really collect a lot of data, make sure it's accurate, and really train the AI to help the owners, managers, employees to become better.
It's a big, they say, big, hairy, audacious goal, but it sounds like you got the passion and the drive on this topic in particular. So I have no doubts that you're going to be pretty damn successful. I mean, you guys have done, exceptionally well thus far, and so I don't see anything stopping you moving forward. So what's the best way for an MSP to find you or engage with MSPBots?
Yeah, of course, the easiest way is to go to the website. We have a free trial, right? People can sign up, focus on the BI. We have a multiple, some people start with automated ticket dispatching, right? This is typically in the US, average dispatcher is somewhere like $4,000 or $5,000. We can use a fraction of the cost of doing that person, or if you have 2, 3, even better, right? Even you have one dispatcher, we can save, right there, right? Save about 80% of that person's cost. You do the math, and do 100 times better job. Then we free up your budget. You can use our BI, use our automation, use our attendance. We have a tons of partnership program, Eureka process, and MSP advisor, work with True Method, right? Burn McKinley, on-call strategy, to really just help the owners to move that ceiling up, right? We'll help you automate a little bit, then you free some capacity for some budget. Then you can reinvest in the automation to automate more, then reinvest more. So your ceiling start to keep going. Now, hopefully they start growing again, or become more profitable, right? So it's the same amount of people, you can do 1.5 times or 2 times, 3 times more job. That's really makes the business better. So start with book an appointment. We have a 1-hour demo, right? It really goes through the details, explain how exactly we actually claim, that make all those people say it's too good to be true. How can you save 80% of the time, do 100 times better job, and only cost 20%, right? Typically people say price, the quality, the speed, you can only have two. We can give you three. So we are so confident. We probably have one of the best money back guarantee, 120 days, unconditional money back guarantee, and month by month, right? We don't want to hold people. So if like Daniel is bullshit, how can you develop try 120 days, right? What if it works, right?
Yeah.
It's an amazing result.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But Daniel, seriously, thank you so much for taking the time. We'll have links obviously to the site and the show notes. We'll send this out through the socials and yeah, like I said, you got a fascinating background, fascinating story, and your passion for solving these, really complex challenges is pretty damn motivating. So well done to you.
Thank you. This is the feel. That's the line, right? Every day we come like, oh my God, so many opportunities. Need more hours.
Yeah. Well, you better get some sleep. Yeah, especially if you're coming off of being sick. So there you go. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah. Bye-bye.